And this guy Towson says, zero diversity and inclusion. We are in 2024. Do better, clowns. Not a fan of these character designs, to be honest. Especially characters like Luna Snow, who are very male-gazy. Hey guys, so the woke crowd is absolutely seething right now that their games keep failing. They cannot get a successful game. Overwatch 2 is going down in flames right now, and based Chinese spyware game Marvel Rivals is doing awesome. And it's because on the right here, this Chinese spyware company is giving gamers exactly what we want. And on the left, we have retarded Western game developers who don't understand gamers at all. And so isn't it so interesting that they always talk about diversity, but then they're saying, but that's the wrong kind of diversity. When they say diversity, they say, well, oh, you got to put a trans character in there, and you got to put a guy from Comic-Con with a fupa in there, and you got to have a disabled wheelchair guy in there. What about this kind of diversity? Can we have this kind of diversity? Oh, no, that's the wrong kind of diversity. So, guys, I just think it's hilarious that their games keep failing. Dragon Age Veilguard, Dustborn, Concord, all of the woke, retarded video games have just failed miserably this year. And then, oh, and by the way, it was 480,000 at peak about 17 hours ago. But it's so good to see these based video games just absolutely crushing it right now. So there's been, so I want to get into some reactions in a second here. The reactions are the best part, but there's been kind of an accusation online that some of us are gooning, you know, and we're just looking for porn and we're looking for pornographic images and all this nonsense. And to that, I want to say not at all. What I like is classic comic book art designs from the 60s in the center here and from 2010. All we want is femininity and we want masculinity in our video games and in our comics and in our art, because God made women and God made men, and we want dudes, we want tough dudes doing cool stuff, and we want attractive women. And I have this Christian author I really like. He said, deep in his heart, every man longs for a battle to fight, an adventure to live, and a beauty to rescue. And I think those are words to live by. And I wanted to say, I'll never advocate for porn, but attractive women, absolutely. I'm going to advocate for attractive women in games all day. So guys, it seems that these are our two choices in the West right now. You've got... like this was from they did like a DEI seminar, and they were like, these are the most inclusive character designs, you know, just like a butch lesbian chick who's walking her dog at a truck stop, and like a gay black guy and a fat dwarf. These are the inclusive designs that we have, guys. Western game developers are just beyond retarded at this point. So these are your two choices. You can play a Western game, you can play Overwatch 2 on the left, or you can have attractive women and tough men in your game, and then you're buying Chinese spyware. So those are unfortunately the only two options that we have. All right, let's get back to the video, and I want to read some of these responses here. This is too good. And this guy Towson says, zero diversity and inclusion. We are in 2024. Do better, clowns. All clown grifters will be blocked. Oh my gosh, this is too good. Imagine looking at this game. Imagine looking at this game and being like, there's not enough diversity. I want more diversity in this game. So I'm 99% sure this guy is a troll, but he's a fantastic troll. Zero diversity and inclusion. He always gets me with his comments. So this is a real comment from a real troon, posting, of course, on Reddit, Socialist Gaming. Thoughts on Marvel Rivals. They said, not a fan of these character designs, to be honest. God. How could you say that? Like, these are just classic 80s and 90s Spider-Man, Captain America, Iron Man, designs. These are just bad. You've got badass men and you've got hot women. How could you possibly be against these designs? There's something wrong with your brain if you're against these designs. He goes on, especially characters like Luna Snow, who are very male-gazy, and serious lack of diversity. You've got Spider-Man, Captain America, Luna, Iron Man. Like, there's what is it, like 30 or 40 characters. I haven't even checked, but I think there's like 30 or 40 characters to choose from. How could you possibly get more diversity than you have in Marvel Rivals? It's just, it makes you wonder if they've even played the game. Here was another great comment. Overwatch ripoff. From the looks of the trailer, it's yet another Overwatch ripoff. Not only that, but my ears wither from cheesy and uninspired writing. The trailer displayed where characters are screaming out generic and childish phrases. I think this game is made for kids. And then you look at their account, and of course there's pronouns, and of course they're big mad. They're mad that it doesn't have fat troons in it, so they're taking it out on the internet. Somebody else said this: a lot of bullies online. Translation: I'm bad at the game and I'm getting bullied because I'm bad at the game. Marvel Rivals is an ass. Don't know why people lying to themselves like it's just Overwatch clone. They thought they're creating more cohesive game, but it ended up so boring to play. Listen, I love some of the abilities, but I think it's dumb that they made so many characters available. How could you say, which is it, guys? Usually people are complaining that there's not enough unlocked characters. How could you complain that there are so many characters available? How is that a bad thing about a video game? It's obvious because there's no gay, degenerate, queer slop in this game. So that's really what she's mad about. Let's see, Mike. So this is one of the better tweets. So Mike Ybarra was the former president of Activision, and he's clearly big mad because Marvel Rivals is bodying Overwatch 2 right now. He said, looks like Overwatch Marvel Rivals ships tomorrow. Just throwing Overwatch in there. Much like Light of Motoram, a clear copy of HCD out of China. I mean, even the character name, Widowmaker, and Overwatch versus Black Widow in Marvel Rivals, LOL. NetEase/Tencent, all the same. And then he got bodied in a note down here. Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow, is a popular Marvel hero who made her comic debut in 1964, more than 50 years before Overwatch and Widowmaker were created. Oops. Sorry, brother. And his claim that this is a copy of Overwatch. I mean, it is clearly a copy of Overwatch, but Overwatch was a copy of Team Fortress 2. There's no way Overwatch would have ever gotten created without Team Fortress 2. Team Fortress 2 created so many of the core ideas that Overwatch went on to work on. And so he's clearly just mad because I still don't understand why they took Overwatch 1 offline. It was just a terrible move, and they've got to be feeling like idiots right now because there's like 20,000 people, there are 30,000 people playing their game right now, and everybody's playing Marvel Rivals. And how he's going to explain that to investors is going to be pretty funny. This was just a funny gameplay comment. Somebody said, delete, nerf the effing shark. Talking about this shark, Jeff the Land Shark. Apparently this guy is really OP, and there's a move where you can just kill the entire team with one kind of broken move. And so everybody's mad about Jeff in the game. I think Dr. Disaster brought this up, that there was only like 2 or 3 reviews. Despite this game having like 500,000 playing it on Steam, there was only 2 or 3 reviews over there on Games Radar. And this is something game journalists do to try to lessen interest in a game, because legacy media has not accepted that it is dying and irrelevant and nobody cares about it anymore. So they have to pull the strings whenever they can. And so Games Radar, which is infested with troons, has said this: Marvel Rivals wants to reinvent the hero shooter genre with its complex characters and special synergies, but it's so preoccupied with trying to be like Overwatch that it forgets to play to its own strengths. Its oversized roster also needs more balancing and more differentiation from Blizzard's stable of heroes. Yeah, I'm sure that's a fair and objective review from good old Games Radar, except oops. They're big ol' Avowed fans. Almost every quest in RPG Avowed can be started in multiple ways. We want to just constantly foster that sense of exploration wanderlust. Guys, I guarantee you some kind of broken queer witch wrote this article because they're just degenerate losers over at Games Radar. And they're anti-fun games. They're anti-based games. They're anti-gamer over at Games Radar. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here, but one final thing I wanted to mention. This was absolutely fantastic. So Daniel Vavra, I love Prague, by the way. We went on our honeymoon to Prague. But why are Czech dudes so based, man? So Daniel Vavra is a Czech video game writer, director, designer, and co-founder of Warhorse Studios. Okay, so when he's, it's not like Matt Hansen being like, I made Avowed. Like, dude, you're just an art director. Daniel Vavra actually was one of the guys who created Kingdom Come Deliverance. And he said this, wow, 7-year-old's game versus recent release. So he's pointing out that Dragon Age of the Veilguard, and I'm sorry for this blurry screenshot here. He's pointing out that Dragon Age of the Veilguard just came out and it hasn't even cracked 90,000 people. And just on a random Tuesday, Kingdom Come Deliverance, 7 years later on a random Tuesday, Kingdom Come Deliverance has 96,000 people online. So guys, just in summation here, based games continue to body gay games. When are these stupid developers, when are these retarded developers going to wake up and realize we don't want your gay goy slop, we don't want your gay communist queer nonsense on our games, we just want based video games? All right, y'all, I'm going to get out of here.